The post office scandal is known as the biggest miscarriage of justice in this country's legal history. This is the story of what happened. The Horizon computer system was the name of the IT that was introduced to 20,000 post office branches up and down the country from the year 2000. But as soon as it was installed, it started to create mystery shortfalls in their accounts that postmasters just couldn't explain. And the post office said they had to pay this back or face prosecution. And over the next 10-15 years, prosecutions happened at a rate of up to 70 each year. They were done for fraud or theft or false accounting, and postmasters were left with nothing to defend themselves when they were in court. As many as 236 went to jail, and we now believe that 900 were prosecuted in total. One of the worst examples was Witherow, who in 2010 was convicted of theft of £74,000 from her post office in Surrey. She tried to get disclosure of all sorts of documents which might have explained why these shortfalls were there and the IT problems that had existed for a number of years. But these, it seems, were not disclosed to her, and the jury found her guilty, and she was jailed while she was 8 weeks pregnant. I spoke to her a few weeks ago, and she described how she collapsed in the dock with a pain in her stomach before she was taken down. Postmasters knew something was up with their IT system from very early on. We've seen letters to government ministers that suggested that Horizon was faulty from as early as 2003, but the fight back only really began in earnest in 2009, when Alan Bates, the star of the ITV drama that aired earlier this month, started the Justice for Sub-Postmasters Alliance group. They took their fight to the High Court many years later after receiving all sorts of setbacks from ministers and post office bosses, and they felt that going to court was their only option. And over 2 years, between 2017 and 2019, they won a series of victories against the post office, which ended in the company capitulating and handing out a £58 million settlement. And the judge, Mr. Justice Fraser, wrote a novel-length judgment explaining that there were more than 24 faults and bugs and errors in Horizon that he could identify that could cause shortfalls. So to bring it up to today, out of those 900 people who were wrongly convicted of crimes, only 93 have managed to get their convictions overturned in the appeal courts. About 53 have had their appeals rejected or they've had to withdraw them, and that leaves almost 800 who have not even come forward. Now, they've told us that they feel too traumatized by what happened to them all those years ago, they don't have the energy left in them to do it, and others said they just don't trust the courts anymore. The ITV drama has also sparked a petition for Paula Reynolds, the former boss of the post office, to be stripped of her CBE, and postmasters accuse her of overseeing a cover-up at the post office and failing to do an independent investigation that got to the bottom of the case. In her defence, she has said that she was misled by her lawyers and that she didn't sign off the prosecutions herself.